What's up? Craig Severinsen here, and we're going to talk about today how to add $10,000 to $20,000 in new revenue to your business this month. It's the beginning of the month. It's a good time to talk about it, and I want you to just think about that for a second. What would another $10,000 or $20,000 in revenue mean to you and your business? One of the things most small businesses struggle with is consistency. Consistency in their leads, consistency in their revenue. And if you can master that, you can build a nice multi-six-figure business that doesn't require a ton of time and effort to maintain. So we're going to talk about how to do that, and we're going to talk about how to do it without ads or funnels or low-priced offers, which are not the best way to go when you're trying to break six figures or even get into the multi-six-figure range. So let me throw some thoughts at you. So I'm about to close a deal that when it closes, I will have brought in $40,000 in new revenue in the past 8 weeks. And the reason why I tell you that is not to brag, but it's just to tell you that I know what I'm talking about. This isn't something that I'm just making up. And I don't have any ad spend or any funnels that I'm doing to make that happen. So, this is the same stuff that I do with my clients, and they get similar results. So just on that note, if you're interested in learning how I can help you do this, really focus you in so that you bring in revenue really quickly through my Land More Clients Intensive, let me know. Send me a direct message. We'll chat. There's no pressure. We'll just see if it's a good fit. Or if you comment #focus, then we'll talk about how we can help you focus your stuff. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter how much work you put into your business. What matters is if you focus on the right things. An example I love to put, hey Karen, how you doing? Yeah, everyone give me some hearts and some likes. Let me see where you're watching from. Put in the comments, where you're watching from. Would love to see that. But the example I like to put is a light bulb, right? If your light bulb is burnt out, it doesn't matter how hard or how long you flip that switch. The light bulb is not going to change. Right? It's not going to turn on. But if you take a moment and change the light bulb, then all you have to do is one flip, the light turns on, and it's more light than you'll need, right? Like it's sufficient. It's going to give you all the light you want. So your business is the same way, right? If you're flipping the switch, it doesn't matter how fast, how hard, how long you flip that switch. If the light bulb is broken, you need to fix it. And there's really 3 things when it comes to landing clients that you really have to focus on if you want to bring in a lot of revenue and bring it in quickly, okay? And I've talked about these things in other videos. I'm going to put a slightly different spin on them, so hopefully it hits you a slightly different way. And let's just dive right in, shall we? So the first thing I want to talk about is just, the basic concept. How do you land clients? How do you make money? Very simple, right? 3 elements. One is you need to have an offer, something that you're selling. And then 2, you need to have an audience that wants to buy it. And then you need to have a way to connect the 2, right? So you've got an offer, the connection is your marketing, and then the actual audience buying it, your niche, your sales process to really land that home and get a sale, right? That's how you get a client. So let's not overcomplicate this and be like, hey, we need a ton of tech, or we need a fancy website, or we need all this stuff. No, we need an audience, we need an offer, and a way to connect the 2. And you can do it very, very simply, right? And so let's talk about those 3 elements. Number 1, your price, okay? If you want to add $10,000 or $20,000 this month, you could try to sell like $100 thing, right? So let's do some math. I'm horrible at math, even though this is really simple numbers, right? 20,000 divided by 100 is 200. So that means you got to make 200 sales if you want to add $20,000 to your business. If you're selling something for $100, right? That's pretty daunting, especially in a month time frame. That's pretty daunting. On the other hand, you could sell like a $10,000 thing, and then you only have to sell 2 of those, right? So the pricing of what you're selling is really important. And here's the thing. We try to dive into these low-priced offers before we're ready. Lots of business owners, we want to do low-price introductory offers. We think get them in the door, then upsell them. Or we think, let's go wide with our reach. And the truth is that those things don't work well until you've got the money to really back up the marketing to drive those to a ton of people. Before you reach 6 figures, or even if you're at 6 figures and trying to make your way to multi-six, like maybe $500,000, $600,000, The way to go is to go deep with your clients and have packages worth between, I'd say between $3,000 and $20,000, depending on what you're doing, right? Like, and a lot of you watching this are probably doing some sort of marketing services. You're probably undervaluing what you do, and you could probably push your price to the $5,000 to $15,000 for your package range pretty easily. And it's a lot easier to find two people to sell two $10,000 packages than it is to find 200 $100 clients, right? But we don't think that way. We think, oh, it's just easier to sell $200 or $100 thing. Well, maybe. I mean, if you're just selling a $100 piece of crap, no one's going to buy that, right? So the secret here is that you got to solve really cool problems, really valuable problems, and people will pay a premium to get that, right? So that's number one. You want to make $20,000, $10,000 this month. Raise your prices. Make sure you've got a profitable price. Go deep, not wide, okay? Number two, your outreach, right? Remember we talked about you have to have a package or an offer, and then you got to have a way to connect that to your audience. So your marketing is what we're talking about here. I'm a big fan of what I call social media direct outreach, or I'll abbreviate it and say SMEDO. But every time I say that, I want to go SMEDO, which makes me sound ridiculous, but I love it. It makes me smile. So you can chant that all day long, right? I'm gonna do my SMEDO. Okay, so what is social media direct outreach? It's basically looking for your clients and getting them to pay attention to what you're doing and making an offer to them, right? And the key here is consistency, and the key here is to be targeted. You know, lots of times people will say, hey, X marketing tactic doesn't work for me. Let's say networking, right? They're like, networking doesn't work for me. And you're like, okay, well, who are you looking for? Who's your audience? And they'll say, okay, let's just put an example, right? So let's say they're looking for lawyers, okay? And you're like, okay, where are you going to find those lawyers? Well, I'm going to the Lions Club, I'm going to the Chamber of Commerce, I'm going to, and they'll list off all these local places. It's like, well, lawyers don't hang out there. Maybe one, maybe two, but the majority of the people there are not your audience, right? You need to go to like the lawyer conventions or like the meetup group specifically for lawyers. That's where you go to find your niche, right? So your niche or your audience might not be lawyers, it might be something else, but you need to get really targeted in your marketing. Like, who are you trying to reach and where do they hang out? And social media, very likely that they're there. Very likely they're on Facebook, very likely they're on LinkedIn. And if you can start talking to them, making connections with them, and then making an offer, even if you're horrible at it, right? Even if you're like the worst at LinkedIn, if you make like 100 offers, I bet you're going to land one of them, right? And you only need 2 if your pricing is right, or 1 if your pricing is right, to make a difference. So that is really an important concept. Consistency and being targeted in your outreach, okay? That is key. Okay, so that's 2 of our 3. The first one was make sure your pricing is right. The second one was to make sure that you're consistent and targeted in your marketing. Again, if you like what you're hearing, you want to find out if I maybe can help you do it, comment #focus or shoot me a direct message. Would love to talk with you one-on-one. There's no pressure with that. It's time to see if it's a good fit, and it's a time to see if I really can help you, right? I only take on people I can help, and the people that work with me, my Land More Clients Intensive, it's really cool. Lots of them will make in 3 months what they made in a year, right? Like I've got clients making $30,000 in 2 weeks. One client made $4,000 the next day after starting the program. So if that's stuff you think you might want to, and we're not spending any money on ads, we're doing exactly what we talk about. If that's something you want to do, let me know. Otherwise, comment what your big takeaways are. How's this landing for you? Is it making sense? Do you like it? Okay. And then number 3, if you want to make between $10,000 and $20,000 this month, is that you need to have a sales process and you need to be bolder in your sales. What does that mean? Okay, so I was just having a conversation today about, I go and do these. There's a lot of startup places here in St. Louis, and I'll go sit on this marketing board for these startups, and it never fails to amaze me that they the golden, what they want is angel investors. They want investors. And so when you show them a pathway to make money through sales, they're like, well, okay, we want the investors. And it just seems so backwards to me. Like, you gotta make sales. And we as entrepreneurs, that's in like the tech startup space where that's really prevalent, where like we're avoiding sales because we want investors for whatever weird backward reason. But for entrepreneurs in our space, it's the same way. What are you doing to avoid making an offer to people? Are you building more packages? Are you adjusting your pricing more? Are you not committing to something? Are you not reaching out to people? Like, until you make an offer, you cannot make a sale. So you've got to get really comfortable with making a lot of offers. And here's the thing, one mindset shift, one very simple shift that will really change the way you approach your sales is to realize that you've got something valuable and that people are waiting for it. They want it and they're waiting for you to offer it to them, right? And you may have to go through 8 people to find the 2 people that are ready, right? And the rest, they might not be ready, but that doesn't mean you have to be salesy or abusive or like pushy with them. That just means you're making an offer. They say no, you say thanks, let's keep in touch. And you know what? Down the line, they might get ready, right? But you've got to find those people who are low-hanging fruit, who are ready, who want your services. And when you do that, offers and sales becomes really natural. It becomes really helpful. It becomes service-based. And so that's why sales and marketing go hand in hand, right? When you've got a consistent outreach, you're going to have consistent conversations, which leads to consistent sales. And if your pricing is right, 2 or 3 sales a month, you know, it'd be better if you're getting 1 or 2 sales a week, but 2 or 3 sales a month will result in that $10,000 to $20,000, you know, boost to your business this month. So that's what you got to do. You want $10,000 to $20,000 this month. You don't want to spend any money on ads. You don't want to build a fancy funnel. You don't want to, you know, do whatever tech thing is out there people are chasing. That's what you got to do. Your pricing, your marketing, your sales. Make some offers, land some clients. That's it. Okay, till next time, take some fast focus, imperfect action. I believe in you. I got your back. I'd love to hear your thoughts, right? What are your big takeaways? Let me know. And also write down, if you want more information, #focused, even if you're watching the replay. And shoot me a direct message if you're interested in talking more about how I might be able to help you. Okay, guys, we'll talk soon. Bye.